But now, I got to be honest with you, man. It hit me where it's like freezing cold. I don't know, man. I think I'm good. I think I'm good on that. I have turned down tickets recently. Now that's about, I wake up early Monday, the hour drive there, hour drive back. It's more than just sitting out in the freezing cold. But I've hit that age now, man, where it's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm freezing out there. You know what I mean? Like for Pittsburgh, for Baltimore, a primetime game, maybe. For the Jets without Aaron Rodgers, 20 degrees, I'm good, bro. Like, I think I'm good on that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. Now, what I should say, and this is going to sound like I'm bragging, I'm not, but I'm trying to add context to the conversation. I'm spoiled. You know what I mean? I've been to so many things. I've been very blessed and spoiled. Both those words would apply. And so maybe I've had my fill, and maybe that's why I see it that way. I also think if you're going to build it and not dome it, like, aren't we limiting what we can use it for at that point? It's like 8 events in the winter, really? Now, yes, there's summer shows and the Stones are playing Cleveland Brown Stadium and yeah. But aren't there expos we can do? Aren't there maybe other shows that are going to tour in the winter maybe that we could get here? Now, the thing I haven't mentioned yet at all is the Super Bowl, right? Odd, we got it coming up on Sunday. If you dome it, you could have it here for that. I think it's easier to do if you put a dome on the stadium in Cleveland. I don't know. I mean, Brook Park's got hotels, but not one TJ Watt's going to want to stay at. I mean, we saw how much he cries last night. You think that guy's going to stay at Brook Park Road? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Now, they would probably all stay downtown anyway. But now you got to travel back and forth from all of that. People are the NFL's bitching about Vegas not being a great city for it because everything's just a little too congested there. And Brook Park is not Las Vegas, but it is congested for sure. Absolutely it is. I mean, it's all strip clubs and car dealerships, but it's congested to say, you know what I mean? Like, for sure that's what it is. And so I don't know if I don't know if that's going to be it. Also, I don't know if you dome it, that means automatically you get a Super Bowl. Now that the team is better, and it's not like, oh yeah, and the Cleveland Browns, I think you would probably have a better chance at it. I don't think they're going to move the stadium to Brook Park, and actually, I think it's a mistake if they choose to do that.
Don't blame the station. We expected you to cancel him by now.
Well, my horoscope said that I shouldn't assume responsibility for anybody but myself.
The Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9.
9 a.m. this morning, let's get you paid out. Bonus $1,000. Those keywords are presented by Beavers Marine. And the first one passed out at 9 a.m. this morning. Had been talking about the Cleveland Browns a touch because, well, there's plenty to talk about with them. And we're going to get to the NFL honors. We were talking about the stadium because the Browns have set in motion to purchase 176 acres in Brook Park. Now, it's not all that far from Berea. I mean, it's pretty much, you can see, I mean, you literally, wait for this one. You can throw a football to it. And so it seems kind of interesting where they're looking to do this. This was the Ford Motor plant. Ford Motor Company plant, in Brook Park, where that was. And I'm bad at size, like I am. So 176 acres, like I have no idea. Like I'm just bad at that. But there's, some speculation that they can move the stadium. I personally hope they don't. But if you're looking to put the practice facility and the stadium there, I think maybe you could do that. A lot of people are talking about if you dome it, you bring a Super Bowl here. Yeah, I think the nightmare of a Super Bowl in Brook Park ain't going to be great. I think Cleveland's the better option there, like downtown Cleveland for the stadium. I actually like where Cleveland Brown Stadium is. Now, getting out of there isn't necessarily the easiest thing ever. But getting out of somewhere that just had 70,000 people in it's not going to be easy anyway, right? So I'm not sure that's what I'm not sure that's going to be the number one factor there. We were talking about whether or not you dome it. Mike in Massillon texted in 330-450-7625. You can too. But Mike says, yo, man, you absolutely dome it. But he wants a retractable dome. Open in nice weather, closed when the weather is crap. Real grass too, he says. So here's the thing. I saw a bunch of NFL players the other night saying, we want real grass in every stadium. And I can't even believe that sports allows that. Like, one day you're playing on this, one day you're playing on that. Like, that seems strange. Like, the NBA is not like, hey, buddy, today, hardwood. Tomorrow, trampolines, buddy. Like that doesn't happen. So, like, I'm surprised By that, I've always said the same thing about baseball stadiums too. It's like, wait a minute, the home run wall is at different lengths where you go. How's that? I was like, this is crazy, right? So now the retractable roof thing. Am I right about this? The Houston Astros have one of those, and when they open it, some players complain that they open it, where the sun is and it's in your eyes and all that. We'll have to wait and see. Everybody talks about sissy putting a dome on. What are you, a sissy? It's like, no, I'm just old. And I admit it, I am, right? But if Minnesota can put a dome on theirs, why is it so crazy that Cleveland would have a dome on theirs? Now, what I will say, what flies in the face of this is Green Bay. Lambeau's Lambeau. And it's different. I've been to a game there. It's different. You're tailgating in somebody's front lawn. It's like we're going to the park and like you just walk there. And snow cold games in Lambeau look awesome. They do. And it feels like this is NFL. Now, conversely, I've been to Buffalo for a game too. It gets a little too crazy there. Like, do you really want to be a fan who's like shoveling snow out of the stadium for cheaper tickets and stuff like that? Like, I don't know if I necessarily love that, One of the things I haven't talked about yet is the at-home viewing is better than ever. I just bought, and these aren't even rare now. I just bought a 75-inch television. That's not even rare. That's like common. People have those now. As a matter of fact, when I bought it, my boss was like, dude, mine's 110. What'd you go with 70 for? I was like, oh, geez. Well, my check's different than yours, buddy. That might have been it. But, like, the point is that people have giant televisions. Now, comfortable couches. Things that they can get out of the fridge. Like, you have to build a draw here a little. Now, I say that, but did the Browns have any problem filling the stadium? No. So maybe it's not necessarily something you have to do for that. I do think you can draw more events in if you dome it. This is coming in up the text line. I'm reading this live for the first time, so excuse me here. Have you ever been to a NASCAR race? Way more people. They open 8 lanes going in and out and then reverse it after. It's still busy because people can't make a turn into a parking lot. But yeah, it is a lot quicker when they do it that way. So yeah, I've been to a couple of NASCAR races, Michigan, and some other stuff. Actually, the Bristol night race is on my bucket list. I want to get that done. So yeah, all right, I could see that. Somebody brought up WrestleMania. Justin brought up WrestleMania. So I looked this up because I didn't know this because I'm not a big wrestling guy. But I just Googled WrestleMania 2024. And that is apparently Saturday, April 6th, Sunday, April 7th now. Apparently that's a 2-day event. Has been for a few years, I think. And that's at Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia. So I was like, well, I was like, well, when is WrestleMania? Because the weather might be good enough to where you don't need a dome, right? And I was like, well, maybe not, because they have SummerSlam, so I can't imagine it's in the summer, right? Because you're probably looking to separate those things. I'm a little shocked to find out WrestleMania was in April there, not knowing when SummerSlam is. I think being able to host a WrestleMania here is, and by here I mean Northeast Ohio, would be good. This is one of those markets where the WWE seems to do really, really well. Does not surprise me at all, not even a little. And that thing still has all the steam it needs, still has all the fans it needs. And so I'm not a diehard wrestling guy, but would I think it's cool and very good for the area to host a WrestleMania? Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. Now, I don't know how many people you need to seat though to put Lincoln Financial Field is big, man. I mean, that's big. So yeah, I like that, although that's not domed, right? Where the Eagles play? That is where the Eagles play, right? That's not domed to the best of my knowledge there. I don't think it is. Green Bay's like the last holdout. But like I said about the fields, real grass versus turf there, I'm almost surprised you're allowed to have differences in the buildings like that. Yeah, man, like this one, the weather just comes right down on top of you while you play. Next week, you're fine. Indoors, AC, you're going to love it. Like, that does seem crazy. But, I mean, that's how golf is. I mean, the course changes every week. You play in the elements. You kind of do a little bit of that. I'm just surprised that the NFL is not looking for more uniform there. But once you demand that, now you have to give us the money to be doing it. There's going to be a lot of snags in that. This is one of those things I've been turned all the way around on. Back in the day, I was like, you don't dome NFL stadiums. What the hell are you doing? This is AFC North football. This is part of it. The elements are part of it. You take away the whole, can a warm weather team come up here and play in the cold? And you take those kinds of arguments away. Really what you're doing is taking that stuff away from show hosts like me. And so I don't love that. But I have been turned all the way around on this. I think, and again, it's partially my age now, where I used to be willing to sit out there in the freezing cold and all of that. And now I'm like, am I nuts? I got a beautiful house. I got a nice couch. I got snacks. I got this. I got a bathroom where 9 idiots aren't urinating in my trash can. I'm good right here. Leave me right here. So if you're going to build new, I think you put a dome on it, because I do want to pull in events like a Super Bowl and WrestleMania.
By now, you're asking yourself, is he trying to be wrong?
You incinerating that I'm dumb?
The Stansberry Show.
I'll have Creed tickets for you all next week. I'm looking forward to that show, man. 3 Doors Down, Mammoth, WVH, Finger 11, Creed. Yeah, man, that'll be good. It's on a Friday night, too. Yeah, we'll get you hooked up with tickets next week. You know, I want to make you aware of something. Our sister station is doing something cool. This actually started yesterday. 98.1 WKDD. They do this every year. It's actually the 25th annual Have a Heart, Do Your Part Radiothon, and this benefits the Akron Children's Hospital, and that presented by Lexus of Akron Canton. They're asking for all of us to become a KDD miracle worker with a donation of $20 per month. And you can call the First Energy phone banks at 330-543-0981. And the New Horizon Federal Credit Union text line is open too. Text KDD to 91999 to donate online that way. But that's their 25th anniversary doing that there. Keith and Tony do a great job of that, and it's for a good cause. And so I would like to see people donate if they have the means to do so. So Keith and Tony out there doing their Radiothon again this year. All right. I did not know this was today. I literally just found this out. But I'm seeing here that it is National Pizza Day. Now, I didn't know this, but like just the other day, I had posted a photo of a pizza I ordered. And it was last Saturday night, as a matter of fact. We were just going to watch a movie on the couch. She wanted pizza, so we got pizza. And I went to the apps to order, and I got it from Italos on Middlebridge. And it was so freaking good, man. Like, it was unreal good. And so I did it, posted about it. I said, man, this was, they were in, you know, they know what they're doing. Like, this was really good. And then, you know, it kind of sparked a little bit of a debate amongst people, right, on where to get the best pizza here in town. And I just think we're spoiled overall, man. Like, the options of mom and pop places. You know, I get Pizza Oven's a large chain, and Krause's is a little bit of a larger chain, right, and all of that. But again, locally owned and that kind of thing. It's not necessarily like, you know, Wall Street's pizza places. And we got a plethora of them, man, that are very, very good. As a matter of fact, I got a chance to hang out with our council ward from Ward 1 there, our council member, Jamie McCleister, because he saw my post, and he had asked me about Park Street Pizza. And I said, well, I've been to the one in Sugar Creek, because I play a golf course down there. It's called Black and Gold, and they're not far from there. And so I was like, on my way out of there, I would stop and get that. Sometimes very, very, very good. And they opened a location here in North Canton. He's like, why don't you meet me there? He's like, I'll get you introduced to the owners. And so sure enough, I got a pizza from there last night. It was delicious. And apparently, talking to that owner there last night at Park Street, he's got another restaurant in the works coming. He's putting it in a great place that's under-delivered to, and it's actually going to be a different style than what they currently do. I don't want to ruin his thing for you. I didn't ask him about whether or not he'd be all right with me unleashing it for him, but I told him I'm very excited about that plan. And so for about a week, we've just been back and forth in the comments and the messages on the text line 330-450-7625, where you get the best pizza here. And I like them all. You know what I mean? I have noticed, and we had this conversation, that some of the local stuff depends on location and can depend on location. And I would admit that I've had, now, I don't know if it's necessarily, well, that's because this location's that much better. You may have just caught somebody on a bad day or on a much better day or something like that throughout the times. But there's been a lot of that. I feel like people ask me all the time, what's your favorite part of your job? And my answer usually is, well, my favorite part is that on any given day, there would be something different that is my favorite part. That's my favorite part, that there's too many. And that's almost how I feel about the local pizza options here. But I gotta be honest with you, man, Italos did a good job of winning me over on their side last Saturday, man. That thing was unreal good. Again, Park Street last night, delicious too. Now, Cleveland, I know a lot of you are in the Cleveland area listening on iHeartRadio, and I appreciate that. Now, they have exploded pizza-wise, too, since I have moved down here. I haven't had all of those places. Ohio Pie is very, very good. People are mentioning that one a lot. Very, very good. A friend of a friend actually owns that, too. That is delicious. I love that. When I lived in Lakewood, for any of you that may be in that area, there's a place, and I just looked, they're still open. It was underrated when I lived there. It's been a long time since I lived there, but Roman Fountain in Lakewood is on the low. I mean, dude, it's underrated. Like, you don't hear people talk about it a lot. Yes, Angelo's is amazing. For anybody that's ever been up there, dude, Angelo's is legit. Like, for sure it is. But there's a lot of good pizza up there, too, and it has absolutely exploded since then. But here I am on National Pizza Day, and it's what I had for dinner last night. Like, I don't know if I could turn around and grab another one today, but I guess I would absolutely be interested in some pizza places maybe I haven't tried. You can let me know. 330-450-7625 on the text line. We were talking about the Browns moving the stadium, possibility of maybe they could find themselves in Brook Park versus downtown Berea, where the practice facilities are. What we haven't spent a lot of time talking about yet is the NFL Honors Awards from last night and what this means for one particular player. Talk about it next on the Stansbury Show.
He was the most hated man in America.
And then Kanye came along.
Ah, thanks a lot, Kanye.
The Stansbury Show
On Rock 106.9.
Under an hour now, we'll rock the bank with you. Get $1,000 passed out. Those keywords are presented by Beavers Marine. Online for you, beaversmarinestore.com. Not just boats, sales, and service either. They can help you with your docks as well. Looking to build one? They got you covered. We'll get back into National Pizza Day maybe next hour. I asked for suggestions, and I got more than I can handle. Thank you so much first for listening. And then beyond that, writing in to let me know. Again, a lot on the text line at 330-450-7625. If you're more social media based, Facebook and X at Stansbury Show. Instagram, TikTok, Threads. Dan.Stansbury there. We'll get back into that maybe later this hour, early next hour, National Pizza Day. We should talk about the NFL Honors from last night. Pretty much a sweep for the Browns. You have the head coach of the year in Kevin Stefanski. You have the NFL's assistant coach of the year in Jim Schwartz. You have the defensive player of the year in Myles Garrett. And the comeback player in Joe Flacco. It's a lot of hardware from the NFL Honors. You can make an argument in a year for a couple of different coaches, I believe. Have dealt with a lot. When Nick Chubb went down in that Steelers game, admit it, we were all like, oh no. He got that team believing. A lot of people would have given up. A lot of players in that locker room could have maybe said what you were saying. Oh no, we don't have Nick. A coach's job is to keep everybody on the same page. We're going to be all right. Nah, we're going to be fine. There's a little bit of that. And he clearly handled that well. Talk about play calling and some of the, some of the schemes and all of that throughout the year. Not every game was great. And I've said about Cleveland Browns fans, he would have fired Andy Reid 25 times. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's just kind of the way it is. Cleveland Browns, it's kind of like, dude, the next coach and the next quarterback, we're so used to it being part of the conversation year in and year out. I think a lot of us just don't want to let it go, right? And there's a little bit of that. So I was happy to see Kev get that done. I know TJ Watt fans are annoyed about Myles Garrett, and they're trying to make everything about stats. Or about, not even stats, they're trying to make everything about the sacks. I mean, people have run the data. Myles gets blocked way more often than TJ does. The amount of times you can just watch TJ Watt's like, dude, they're not even game planning for the dude. And like, the amount of times you can see that in film, it's all over the place. Now, are these awards full-on 100% legitimate? Well, no. I mean, come on. We know some narrative goes into this. We know some biases on the voters go into some of this. We know that. We know that. I don't think it's egregious that they made Myles Garrett the Defensive Player of the Year. Seeing how it is, most people who played his position in the NFL before him all said all year, oh no, it's Myles. Like, it's Myles. If you're an offensive coordinator, dude, you were sweating 95 the night before. Like, oh my God, what are we going to do about 95? And I've said all year, I don't believe other teams fear TJ Watt the way they fear Myles Garrett. I also said this, and Steelers fans think I'm crazy, but I'm right. You put both players on the market today, Myles gets more phone calls. Don't kid yourselves. But TJ's got more sacks. Yeah, tell it to the other yins. I ain't trying to hear it. I also just said he will win it. Forget the debate, who's better, who's got this, that, who's got that. I said Myles will win it. And people laughed at me. So yeah, I'm a victory lap a little. Sure. Absolutely. About something most of us can celebrate? Yeah, I'm happy victory lapping on that. How you doing, Mark? Hey, buddy, don't forget to send those messages. Don't forget to be in my email because of how much I love it. Don't forget to be in there. Tried to tell the guy. Tried to tell everybody. Myles was going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Jim Schwartz, you got to love that. I mean, we were all terrified he was going to get head coaching jobs. I'm still worried about it next year. Now, you're starting to see some coordinators, Ben Johnson in Detroit, some other guys like, nah, man, I kind of like my job. And I hope that that kind of takes off in the NFL. Because I think too many times people are like way too obsessed with the next job. It's like, no, man, capitalize on this one. And so I want to selfishly hold Jim Schwartz here, and by here I mean the Cleveland Browns, to run that defense. Because we saw what it looked like with Joe Woods. Horrific. Night and day. And you feel like Schwartz went in there, slammed the door, and said, listen to me, you prima donna idiots. Nobody cares if you're good if you don't play well. You have to be good. And he brought accountability to that unit. And you could see it. Game one. Impactful coach there, for sure. Can't take anything away from him. This is all positive. Unless you're Deshaun Watson. All the excuses are gone. Every last one. Well, your defense is clearly good. Your Defensive Player of the Year is on your squad. So you have a defense. So quarterbacks get that all the time. Give them a defense, want to win. So you have one. Oh, by the way, your coach is pretty good. Coach is pretty good. He's the coach of the year. Oh, defensive coach? Yeah, he's pretty good too. By the way, your running back is coming back next year. And we're waiting to see whether or not you still have him. There is so much pressure on that guy now. And there has been, by the way, since he's been coming back, you know, since we signed him. God, it feels like 10 years ago now because of all the conversations with Deshaun. Which, by the way, all the Steelers fans are in my comments today about massage tables and all of that. Yeah, I know, when you lose, it kind of sucks, right? So you kind of have to change the argument or wait for this pun. Move the goalposts. Yin's going down to watch the Steelers and all that. Like, come on, man. Get out of there with all the massage table stuff. That's low-hanging fruit, dad joke, awful jokes. It's never been funny. Let it go. You're just crying. Like your hero, TJ Watt, who took to social media last night to say, nothing I'm not used to. So used to it, your big petulant ass is crying like a little girl all over X. Where is the, I'm honored to be nominated along these sides of these gladiators, or whatever the hell the PR team for the Steelers would write if they could write. What would happen? Where is a little of that? Now, that's not a TJ Watt issue. That's an athlete of the era issue. It's the religion of me. If I give respect to anybody else, I'm a sucker. Don't let it do it. Don't do it, TJ. You're the greatest. Don't give credit to nobody. No days off, right? Like all that kind of crazy stuff. I mean, you're so used to it, you're going to cry about it? What an absolute baby. By the way, he might not even be the best Watt. Like, he might not even be the best Watt, for crying out loud. You can cry about it all day. I'm hearing a lot of this. Browns fans celebrating their Super Bowl today. Oh, you mean like the Steelers fan base that celebrates the 6 you weren't alive for when they won them?